Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity in the Seven Hills. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve. Hope you all have a lovely time this Christmas. We have a special service this evening that I want you guys all to encourage you guys all to come to. 5 o'clock this evening, we have a very Christmassy service. So you'll notice there are a couple of Christmas songs. Ooh, I haven't got my Christmas hat on. I'll put that on later. But there are a couple of Christmas songs. But if you want full-on Christmas, you need to come here this evening and join with that. And it'll be a sing-along service. So lots of Christmas. Let's start by standing and singing. Got some challenging songs this morning. They're kind of new. You've heard them before, but I don't know if you've sung many of them before. But let's get into it anyway. Let's get into the spirit of Christmas and having a good time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every day you shine brighter. You make this world a better place. Feel the love from your heart. I see the joy on your face. There's lots to repeat. Every day you shine brighter. You make this world a better place. I feel the love from your heart. I see the joy on your face. Shine your light on everyone. Shine your light on me. Shine your light as bright as the sun. 'Cause this is where you're supposed to be. Right here every day you shine brighter. You make this world a better place. I feel the love from your heart. I see the joy on your face. Here we are, we're together. We're here in this wonderful place. Leave the cares of the week. Together we'll celebrate. Here we are, we're together. We're here in this wonderful place. Leave the cares of the week. Together we'll celebrate. Shine your light on everyone. Shine your light on me. Shine your light as bright as the sun. 'Cause this is where you're supposed to be. Here we are, we're together. We're here in this wonderful place. Leave the cares of the week. Together we'll celebrate. Every day you shine brighter. You make this world a better place. Feel the love from your heart. I see the joy on your face. Every day you shine brighter. You make this world a better place. I feel the love from your heart. I see the joy on your face. Come on, everybody. Shine your light on everyone. Shine your light on me. Shine your light as bright as the sun. 'Cause this is where you're supposed to be. Every day you shine brighter. You make this world a better place. I feel the love from your heart. I see the joy on your face. There you are. And you know, at this time of the year, sometimes we get wrapped up and find it more stressful than it ought to be. Am I right? So here's a song just for you. So this is Too Blessed to Be Stressed. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Woke up this morning feeling fine. Got a smile on my face, ain't no time for no crying. I got a groove in my step, beat in my chest. I'm too blessed, yes, too blessed to be stressed. Every day's a brand new start. Oh, I'm dancing through life with a joyful heart. No matter what comes, I'll pass the test. You know I'm blessed, oh yes, too blessed to be stressed. Here we go, 'cause I'm blessed, too blessed. Blessed to be stressed, woo. Too blessed to be stressed, woo. Too blessed to be stressed, woo. Too blessed, I can't be repressed. 'Cause I'm blessed, too blessed to be stressed. When trouble comes knocking at my door, I lace up my boots 'cause I'm ready for more. I got the power of love, my guiding light, and with love on my side, it'll all turn out right. Every day's a brand new start. Oh, I'm dancing life with a joyful heart. No matter what comes, I'll pass the test. You know I'm blessed, oh yes, too blessed to be stressed. 'Cause I'm blessed, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed, I can't be repressed. 'Cause I'm blessed, too blessed to be stressed. Here we go. I've been down and I've been low, found the strength to let it all go. Life's a dance and I'm in the groove, gonna spread this love with every move. Yeah, 'cause I'm blessed, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed, I can't be repressed. 'Cause I'm blessed, too blessed to be stressed. Now let's spread this feeling far and wide. Gonna share the love side by side with a hand to hold. Hearts are meant, our blessings will never end. Every day's a brand new start. Oh, I'm dancing through life with a joyful heart. No matter what comes, I'll pass the test. You know I'm blessed, oh yes, too blessed to be stressed. 'Cause I'm blessed, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed, I can't be repressed. 'Cause I'm blessed, too blessed to be stressed. 'Cause I'm blessed, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed to be stressed. Ooh, too blessed, I can't be repressed. 'Cause I'm blessed, oh yes, too blessed to be stressed. Yeah, exactly. Here's something that you will know.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel and Unity Band. And good morning, Unity in the Seven Hills, and Merry almost Christmas. Several of our members, pillars of the community, have been going through some health challenges, but it looks like on the upside, saying special prayers for, and our chaplains have been saying prayers for Judy and Bill Bennett. Recovery is there. We also have been saying prayers for Dennis and Deanna Morandi. They are back in Lynchburg. And a young pillar of our community, we've known her since, Leslie has been facing some health challenges, and we see her surrounded, all of them surrounded, and ones we haven't even named, surrounded by that healing light of love, joy, and peace. And let's start out by blessing the Unity, the Christ candle, and the Advent candles. If you remember, the first Advent we lit was for hope and faith. Second was for peace, love, and today we light for joy. And let's say that great, wonderful Unity affirmation: there is only one presence in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. When we come to this sense of a joy, I was a person who I've really admired his posts, blogs this year, a fellow by the name of Brock Kidd. He is the Senior Vice President for Financial Investment at a leading U.S. firm in Nashville. But he writes wonderful spiritual blogs. He wrote recently, he said, Christmas was near, but it wouldn't be the same for me this year. Harrison, his son, who he'd love to sit and talk with about, the world and metaphysics and everything. His son is in Europe studying. He wouldn't be there. His mom and dad recently made their transition, so there'd be empty seats at the table. And he's thinking, this Christmas is not going to be Hitsville. He says, I was deep in the throes of doom and gloom when a call came in. Hello? I immediately knew it was Wanda, my 96-year-old friend. Her sweet southern accent could not be mistaken. Honey, she said, have you heard about the Christmas star? Well, no, I answered. It hasn't been seen for 800 years, she said in her drawl of wonderment. I'm promising you this, honey, in the middle of this difficult year, it is God himself sending us a messenger. God is so good, darling. Well, we all have memories of not so perfect Christmases, Brock wrote. But Wanda's phone call relayed a powerful message much bigger than our temporary disappointments. Standing in the backyard with my family on a cold, crisp night, we set our eyes on the Christmas star and considered Jesus' birth. There would be lonely times and empty seats at the table ahead, but Wanda's words really won out. God's so good, darling. And Brock added a little prayer, Spirit, your signs sustain us. Your wise men and wise women like Wanda make us strong and full of Christmas joy. Full of Christmas joy. And today we are going to be continuing that metaphysical vision and trip to Bethlehem, looking at the Magi, at the wise men. Let's go into prayer. Dear Spirit, in the hustle and bustle of this season, help us to remember that we are too blessed to be stressed, to take that step back, to take that deep breath and really remember the reason for this season. Thank you for Unity in the Seven Hills. May it continue to be a city on a hill with a powerful spiritual message, not just to Lynchburg, but to the world beyond. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. Each week we look at one of Unity's basic 5 principles, and this week we are on the first principle. A lot of us grew up with sort of the zapping God, the thunderbolt God, and my guy, we did this wrong, and so our copybook was forever blotted or whatever. And we come in and learn that that's, that's not the deal. It's a loving God. It's a loving God, a forgiving God who is, so near to us and dear to us. And to remember that that power is on our side. Albert Einstein said, a fundamental question is, do you really believe that the universe is hostile, or do you believe it's essentially a loving and supportive environment? Einstein said he chose the loving and supportive environment. And so do we. So does this community. Let's say that, one way of saying that unity first principle, let's say it together. God is all there is and is present everywhere. This is the force of love and wisdom that underlies all existence. All existence. And so I wish I could tell you you're never going to hit a pothole in life, but that's probably not the deal. But the glory is when we can step back and remember this first principle in a loving and supportive universe. And like Brock, have the Wandas in our life remind us that even though, Harrison's not going to be there, even though the parents have made a transition, God is so good. And this can be a wonderful and beautiful, beautiful Christmas. If anybody is new, this is your first time, or new to Unity in the Seven Hills or Unity in general, we have, our greeters have a packet. They look like Santa's elves right back there with the hat. Lisa, and I believe that's Vern, that we have packets which will explain what's going on here. There is something usually going on here almost every day that can really, truly help you on your spiritual walk. So please speak to me, get that packet, and please then join us downstairs for fellowship and food following the service. We are also so blessed to have a wonderful youth and family ministries program. Crystal is leading it. And I want to tell you about another talent. Wander into the kids' room. Crystal has painted it. And I mean, it is beautiful. I've talked to her about motorcycle riding, now comes painting. I mean, she's a woman of incredible talents, and we are so blessed to have her. Let's bless our kids as we send them off, and they will be here with us a little later at the end of the service. And so let's say that blessing. You are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are and wherever you are.
Let's stand and sing. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Thank you, and be seated, please. Let's affirm our mission statement together. Unity in the Seven Hills is a vibrant, inclusive community that inspires individual spiritual growth through education, prayer, heart connection, and sacred service. And our vision statement, we are an inclusive community centered in spirit. We embrace our divine oneness, power, and purpose. And I've really, Ari's been putting up some really great stuff on social media. This week we had, I believe it was a soccer club, and some other folks came and stuffed the pantry and the refrigerator full of food, and that was up. And it really is, I think, a really important thing. And come on, when you come down, if you have a cans or something like that and want to put it in, that's great. I think it's such an important service that we are doing for our community. I've asked Lisa to come on forward, and if you could read the daily word, and testing. Yeah, it's working. Not working.
Magic hand. It's now working. The daily word of today is joy. With joy, I prepare for the rebirth of Christ within. So Christmas Eve brings back memories of childhood anticipation. What's in the package under the tree? What goodies will there be in the morning? Now I relish in anticipation of the joy my gifts will bring as I watch my loved ones open their presents. This joy blooms in my heart as the Advent season draws to a close, and I prepare to receive my most precious gift, the rebirth of the Christ within. I still my mind and become present. I contemplate the awe of the shepherds as they heard of Jesus' birth. I think of the veneration of the kings who traveled to honor him. I surrender my feelings of awe and reverence, preparing for the joyous rebirth of light and love within me. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people." That's Luke chapter 2, verse 10.
Thank you. And now we have some very special praise music.
So Christmas means different things to different people. And it was in the summer, that July 18th, I think, that Mel Torme and Robert Wells sat down and ended up writing this song, which is like one of the premier Christmas songs that I have to hear every year, at least once. And so here it is. You all know it. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. So I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. From all of us at Unity in the Seven Hills.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. And Judy. Yeah. Well, we continue we've been on a metaphysical journey to Bethlehem, looking at the Christmas story metaphysically. I have really been heartened. My goodness, the number of people online who have been looking at it, our numbers have really been very high. So there seems to be a lot in it. Today we look at the Magi, the three wise men, and it reminds me of a story about, there are all these Christmas bazaars, and so some people walk into this one Christmas bazaar, and on the table they're selling wise men wisdom per pound, wise women wisdom per pound. There are no prices, and so the person asks, well, what are the prices? For example, a pound of wise woman wisdom, how much is that? That's $3.25 a pound. Oh, well, what about wise men wisdom? That's $16.75 a pound. The person looks dumbfounded and said, that's discriminatory, that's unfair. And the seller says, oh no, not in the least. Do you know how many more men we have to go through to get a pound of wisdom compared to wisdom? So, seen as in that sense as a just price. In four Gospels, the Christmas story is talked about in Matthew and Luke. The wise men, however, only come up in Matthew. And they are seen as great spiritual teachers of truth from Persia, from the East, seen as a source of spiritual wisdom. It's interesting. I mean, I know we've been trying to go beyond the literal, but it's interesting. Several modern astrophysicists have hypothesized about what the Star of Bethlehem might have been. For example, Professor David Hughes of the University of Sheffield believes that it was a multiple conjunction, that Jupiter and Saturn were aligned with the sun and the moon, and a rare phenomenon leading to the sense of what became the Star of Bethlehem. Professor Michael Molnar of Rutgers University says that he believes that Jupiter was in the constellation of Aries. Jupiter representing royalty, Aries representing, in that system, representing Judea, and it was eclipsed twice by the moon, so seen as very rare. Professor Robert Krockoff of McMaster's University believes it was a supernova. Professor Sir John Colin Humphreys of Cambridge University has proposed that it was a comet. But, again, whether you take these stories literally, metaphysically, they're powerful stories. And I do think whatever literally might have been there, it's important to go beyond. I mean, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore would caution us. It's important to go beyond, literal meaning. Our tour guide for this tour of Bethlehem, Journey to Bethlehem, has been Reverend Ava Hasbrook, a wonderful Unity minister who was ordained back in the 70s. She was the dean of Unity Institute and Seminary for a good number of years. wrote several wonderful books. One which meant a lot to me in my early days in Unity on positive prayer, but this one, actually, The Trip to Bethlehem, looking at it metaphysically. I've been looking up stuff about Reverend Hasbrook. Interesting character. She was a researcher and writer for Paramount Pictures in Hollywood for a good number of years, and also she was a graduate of Berkeley. She graduated Phi Beta Kappa from the University of California at Berkeley, and she also had a great social conscience. She literally marched with Cesar Chavez and the farm workers. I never met Reverend Hasbrook, but I mean, if I had a time machine, she is one of the people I would really, really, really like to go back and meet. So let's remind ourselves about the wise men coming out of the east. And it's interesting that there have been a number of several. One including a Unity minister, and he says this is nonfiction, but it's interesting to speculate and all that about where did Jesus's wisdom come from. There's some, in his story, Jesus makes journeys to Egypt and then makes journeys to the east, makes journeys to India. Who knows? But anyway, that the wise men coming out of the east see the star which they believe is leading to the birth of the Messiah. They go to Jerusalem and meet Herod the king, who was Rome's puppet king, and they say to him, we've seen the star, we believe a Messiah is going to be born. Could you tell us where this is going to be? Now, I'm amazed that Herod, good Jewish boy, couldn't just shoot back and say Bethlehem. I mean, it's the city. He's going to come out of the city of David. He speaks to his scholars. They come back and say Bethlehem. But Herod is a little shaky about this. A Messiah being born. Says to the wise men, after you go worship him, come on back and tell me where this kid is. I want to go worship him also too. They go off. The wise men go off. They find the star. It's in, over a manger. There's the worshiping, the gold, frankincense, and myrrh, et cetera. But they get an angelic vision. Don't go back the way you came. The last thing in the world you want to do is go back and see Herod. Go around another way and go back to Persia, which is what they do. Herod is, livid that, these guys didn't come back, the wise guys didn't come back to see him. So he says to his soldiers, go into Bethlehem, every young Jewish male child that you see, kill him. But fortunately, the angel Gabriel has come and appeared in a dream to Joseph, saying, get going, get the baby and Mary, get them out of here, get them into Egypt. You'll stay in Egypt till I tell you to come back. Herod dies a few years later, and they, and they come back. Reverend Hasbrook, I think, has some very interesting insights and things to say about the Magi. She says, Magi, Greek word translated to wise men, good translation. The men were knowledgeable in many fields, and usually they were astrologers who combined knowledge of the stars with other knowledge. Wise men is a good translation, for they represent just what the name implies, wisdom. Remember, in the 12 powers that Charles Fillmore talked about that we all have, one of the key powers is wisdom. Remember, a disciple or an apostle represents each power, and St. James represents the power of wisdom. That's going to be important down the road. I'll talk about that in the moment. They brought 3 gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Gold, obviously, representing worldly wealth. Frankincense, spiritual. A lot of times incense and frankincense used in ceremonies. But also, and again, Isaiah predicting that what the gifts would be. But myrrh, interesting, myrrh is associated with funerals. Associated with funerals. Sort of the foretaste of Easter's coming. Good Friday's coming. Easter is coming. Reverend Hasbrook writes, significantly, the Magi did see the star, heeded the star, and also heeded that vision not to go back to see Herod. She also points out and says that the wise men also, to her, she believes, represent the archetype of the magician. Very important archetype, the magician. The magician is the potentiality of balancing and living in harmony with spiritual and the material, the supernatural and the natural, writes Reverend Hasbrook. The magician archetype is our potentiality for extracting the good from every challenge in the external world and thereby enhancing internal evolution. Or as a lot of folks have said recently in the unity movement, how can what is before us truly be for us? How, for example, can the pandemic created conditions which were tough, but how can, ironically, these conditions be used to benefit us? I give one example. I remember when I first came here a number of years ago, we were barely doing audio. There was no, and it took several days before it got up. There was no visual and all that. The pandemic forced us to make leaps and bounds and get really good at streaming and stuff like that. Things which might have taken 5 years, it took maybe 5 months for us to do. So that the magician archetype, I think, is really, really important. And also, it's interesting, a recurring theme. Remember, we talked about Joseph last week, that Joseph was also quite good at, one of the things I deeply admired Joseph, he developed both on the material level, but also on the spiritual level. And that, you can have situations where people develop materially, but they're very spiritually undeveloped, and then the crisis happens in their lives, and without that spiritual depth, it's very difficult for them to go through this crisis. But you can also have people who are so spiritually developed, they're no earthly good to anybody because they haven't developed that practical side. And I think one of the things we should be looking for in 2024, both as individuals and as a congregation, is becoming really developed both on the spiritual world, but also, in the practice. We should be able to read a balance sheet. We should be able to function and be able to take care of when water damage starts coming in into the building and stuff like that. That's, so being great on both of those levels. I believe the Magi also represent pilgrimages, which I think are so important. I'd like to tell two, I think, modern stories about pilgrimages, which I think really do summarize the importance of a lot of this. The first story is about a woman called Ava Bush. She lives in both France and also in Maine. She's a travel writer, and she had a very difficult, spiritually had a very difficult childhood. Brought up Catholic, but it was, nun in those days. It was nuns with rulers and hitting kids on the knuckles and very strict, and it was not a loving God at all. And she saw that very much reflected in her parents. When she grew up, she didn't want anything to do with that, but she felt a real emptiness in her. She thought, it would be a really interesting thing to write a travel article about. I'll go on a pilgrimage. I'll go on the Camino de Santiago, which is in Spain, and part of it's in Portugal, and part of it in France. And it leads to a great cathedral where supposedly the relics of, guess who? St. James, the Apostle James, remember we talked about representing wisdom, are supposedly buried. The legend is that St. James, after the after the revolt in Jerusalem, which did not go well, Bar Kokhba's revolt against the Romans, which didn't go well, James supposedly left, wound up in Spain, preaching, converting, spreading the word, but then felt that he had to go back to Jerusalem, went back to Jerusalem, the legend is, and died there, but he wanted his remains to be buried in Spain, and so here they are in this great cathedral. In the Middle Ages, it became a very important central place to go for pilgrimages, almost like in English tradition, Canterbury, Canterbury, or Sir Thomas Becket, remember, was a martyr, and Chaucer wrote Canterbury Tales about this, about making a pilgrimage to Canterbury. So it was very common to make this pilgrimage on the Camino de Santiago, and so Ava thought, I'll write an article about it. Not really a believer, but it will be interesting. And it's a lot, and really a lot of people, I know several Unity ministers who have made this pilgrimage on the Camino de Santiago. So anyway, she's walking, and she's walking, and there's this priest who comes next to her, a young guy, and she looks at the priest and says, "Why are you doing this? I mean, you're a priest." And he says, "Well, I really feel I need to strengthen my spiritual walk. Yes, I'm a priest, but I really think I need to strengthen my spiritual walk." So Ava's continuing the walk with this guy. She sees this sign for this little, off the beaten path, a little church. She decides to go to it. And she goes alone into this church. Again, her Star of Bethlehem, as it were. The sun is setting. Light is coming into this stone church, reflecting on the walls. And it's like rosé red, or rosé color of the walls and of the light. And it is so incredibly beautiful. She goes into the church and sits down, and this thought comes to her. Here's this priest I've been walking with. He's a really nice guy, and he feels he has to strengthen his spiritual walk. These priests, I guess, and the nuns too, they're just human beings. They're human beings on a spiritual journey. They're not perfect. They need to strengthen their walk. And, these priests and nuns from my past, they were just doing the best they possibly could. They were doing what they knew and how they were taught, and they're doing the best they could do. And Ava felt such a wave of forgiveness, and a real healing of her spiritual path and her past in that church, in that rosé light. And then she continued to walk to the cathedral, and where, so the legend has it, St. James is buried. And she said, "I don't know if St. James is buried there or whatever, but I can tell you a lot of my past bitterness and anger was buried there." And she came out really, really differently. And she loved this quote from the theologian Martin Palmer. Martin Palmer said, "True pilgrimage changes lives, whether we go halfway around the world or out to our own backyards. True pilgrimage changes lives, whether we go halfway around the world or out to our own backyards." Makes me want to think, how can we take a pilgrimage? And it doesn't have to be halfway around the world or Camino de Santiago. It can be right here in Lynchburg, right here in these beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains. Second story, love to tell you is a woman by the name of Jennifer Vale. She lives in Bayside, California. Bayside, California is in the northern part of the state. Jennifer went through a bitter divorce, was going through a bitter divorce, and really did not feel in the Christmas spirit whatsoever. And I think I left, did I leave it here? Oh, no, I didn't leave it. Well, your imagination. So she feels bitter about the divorce, the way things are going, finances, not really in the Christmas spirit. But she decides to set up her little nativity. She has a little nativity scene, and she sets it up. And she has a little electric tea light. A little electric tea light. Tea lights, when we light I light this candle, and people come forward once a month. We do this, it's candle lighting, and those are we would consider those little tea lights. But this she had was an electric tea light. Interesting, tea lights come back originally supposedly from Japan. Part of the tea lighting, the tea ceremony. The tea ceremony is so long, how are you going to keep the tea warm? The Japanese invented these little lights, which are candles, which you put under the teapot, et cetera, et cetera. So she has one electric tea light, and she decides to put that right behind the manger. She puts it right behind the manger and flips it on, and there's the manger. She goes to bed. That's my Christmas. That evening, there is an earthquake, which measured 6.4 on the Richter scale. I mean, a really serious one, shakes everything. Several windows were broken. She wakes up, there's no electricity. It is totally dark. It is totally dark. She can't see anything. And she's really concerned. She has gas heating, and also gas electric stove. Was the gas pipes broken? And so essentially it's leaking gas, which could be really quite dangerous. But she can't see anything. She stands up, she's trying to fumble her way forward, and she sees this little light. This little light, what is it? She follows the little light. It's the tea light behind the manger. It's the tea light behind the manger. She walks, finally, she can orient herself now. She knows where the tea light is, where the manger is. She goes, looks at the gas. The gas line is still solid. No gas is leaking, thank God. She's alive. She looks out. There's been serious damage to several other houses. Her house has a few windows cracked, but nothing really serious. And she's alive. She's alive. She's going to be alive for this Christmas. Boy, oh boy, did she start feeling Christmas joy. Did she start feeling Christmas joy? And all that other stuff, the divorce or whatever, she felt Christmas joy. Very much almost like Brock and Wanda, which we talked about before. Feeling that joy. And she also felt, wow, that was my pilgrimage. It was a little shorter, it was just down the hallway. It was a little shorter distance than what the wise men went. But it really changed her, really changed her consciousness. And so I would say, I think this really boils down to, on this Christmas Eve, first, that wise men and wise women still follow a star to that inner Christ. Still follow a star to that inner Christ, that divine spark. You can call it by different names, but it is still so essential. And wise people, yes, in this modern 21st digital century, still follow that. Second, when we look at this story and the wise men and the Magi metaphysically, it is a powerful story, and still very much a good guidepost to grow spiritually in this modern world. And third, like the wise men, it's important to listen to that still small voice. And so I would ask you, I would ask me, what small pilgrimages or large pilgrimages can we take? It can be as simple as having a routine where we do prayer and meditation on a daily basis, where it could be just a pilgrimage to the sofa and dedicating some time to really getting into the good news, as it were. And so, a pound of wise women, a pound of wise men, and to realize we don't have to go to a fair to buy it. It's already in us. As John Denver said, it's in every one of us to be wise. And so, Merry, Merry Christmas. May you follow that star of your dreams, because it will lead you. It will lead you to the Christ within. Thank you, and God bless.
Oh, I know why Santa doesn't play the guitar. So we're going to go into meditation today with a familiar song. I actually rewrote some of the words. I used the words that were available to me, moved them around a little bit, and made it much more in the line of metaphysical. So here it is, Silent Night. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Lights. Can you get the lights? Keep going. Keep going. Gentle light, holy light, awaken to the heaven inside, unite together and know we are one, shine with a glory as God's only Son. Arise in heavenly joy. Arise in heavenly joy. Silent night, holy night, Christ of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, healing through redeeming grace. Shine thy heavenly love, shine thy heavenly love.
Let's take a deep breath in And slowly, slowly let it out. Let's take another deep breath in. And slowly let it out. Let's close our eyes if we feel comfortable doing so. The Apostle James wrote, "The wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceful, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruit, without uncertainty or insincerity." And Reverend Hasbrook has written a few affirmations on the star and also on wisdom. She writes, "The star of the east illumines my way to Bethlehem. I am guided and illuminated by the Christmas star. My inner wise men see and follow the star. The light of God reveals my potential." She also writes, "I am open and responsive to the wisdom of God. I am wise with the wisdom of spirit. Spiritual wisdom guides me to express my higher self. Spiritual wisdom is mine by divine power." And with these realizations, these incredible Christmas gifts, we gladly go into the silence. Dear Spirit, thank you for the understanding that wise men and wise women still follow that star of inner guidance to the Christ within, to the divine spark within themselves, and that all things are possible when we are aligned with that star and with that inner Christ. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. Here we go. Let's stand and sing. light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
Thank you, and please be seated. Sometimes this used to be called announcements, but we're calling them resources. We hope you will look at this as resources which can help you with your spiritual walk. There's so much going on here. Go to unityinthesevenhills.org. That's all one word, unityinthesevenhills.org, to see our events and classes. We do need volunteers in several areas. The Sunday broadcast team, and as I say, it's really, a lot of people are clicking on or live streaming and looking at that message. The Sunday broadcast team can use a few more people to help. We're going to be doing training in January. There's sign-up sheets in the back. Any questions about it, please either speak to Ari or speak to me. It's a team which is really doing so much good. Crystal and Youth and Family Ministries program could use some volunteers. It could be just like one Sunday a month or something like that. There's a sign-up sheet in the back. And lastly, and very importantly, we could use one more prayer chaplain. Any questions about it, please either speak to Sally Ingram, there's Sally's hand, there we are, or speak to me. The prayer really it's been at the center of the Unity movement from the get-go. And we are so blessed to have a wonderful chaplain team, and we could, as I say, use one more. Our Youth and Family Ministry program has been expanding faster than Santa's sleigh can keep up with. As part of our Christmas campaign for toys and all that, Crystal has created a Amazon wish list. Go to our Facebook, the church's Facebook page. Please look. There's many ways which you can give items which will really help our youth and family ministries, and quite frankly, go downstairs and look where she has painted. It's just a wonderful job she's done. All things mystical and metaphysical, led by Pamela Smith. I can't say enough about this group, which meets on Wednesdays at 1:30 p.m. It won't be meeting this week, but it will be meeting the week after. Incredible speakers and wonderful, wonderful topics. We're going to be starting something new on January 5th on Fridays. It will be what we call conscious dancing, a space to connect and listen to your being and more to movement. We're really looking forward to this. Amajin is going to be leading it. It's available to all. Come. You don't have to be, I'm not a great dancer or whatever. It's as the Spirit moves you. And so come on, starting on January 5th, we're really looking forward to your being there. We're experiencing a mystery in Unity in the Seven Hills, downstairs in the library, and we thought these three chairs people were the chairs that were missing. They are not. If you know anything about it, we ask that you speak to either Constable Sally, Inspector Ari, or Monsignor Bellis. And let us know about the chairs. I must say, none of these chairs are endowed chairs. So but come speak to us. It really is an important time in the Unity movement. We're going to be doing some, as Daniel said, at 5 p.m. tonight. will be our Christmas Eve service with music, carols, another message, a different message. It will also be the Christmas story and a wonderful candle lighting silent night ceremony. You won't want to miss it, so hopefully you'll be here at 5 p.m. for our Christmas Eve service. Then next Sunday at the 10:30 service, we will be doing the Burning Bowl, where we release that which is no longer serving us, and we don't want to carry it into the new year. And then on January 7th, we will be holding, Sunday, January 7th, at our 10:30 service, we'll be holding the White Stone Ceremony. I believe the Burning Bowl and the White Stone Ceremony are two of the most, wonderful things that Unity has added to the liturgy. At the end of the service, our prayer chaplain will be Daniel. Come on up for individual one-on-one prayer. Then please join us downstairs for fellowship and food. Something which I would ask folks online and also here in person, if you like something, click it, share it on your Facebook page, Instagram, or whatever. That's one of the, share it with your friends list or to somebody specifically that you know. That is one of the best ways. Because Unity, let's face it, in many American towns is one of the best kept secrets in that community. This is a way of getting the word out to folks on Facebook and Instagram, and it's a very easy, it doesn't cost anything, and it really is very, very important. We have been very, very blessed by the support, by time, treasure, and talent that people have given us during the pandemic and the post-pandemic era. Let's affirm our abundance together. Unity in the Seven Hills is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. And we accomplish mighty works together. And this is a tithing church. We support Unity Worldwide Ministries. We support Silent Unity. And also we support local institutions. This month we're giving to Interfaith Outreach Association, which I've become really active in it. It's been a great to meet ministers from many different faiths and rabbis from different congregations, doing the Lord's work in Lynchburg. And we've been donating to it this month, and believe me, it goes to really help a lot of folks in need in a lot of key social areas. And now, what's going to happen, our greeters are going to ask us to come forward. I know many of you give monthly, but whatever, or you give online, don't worry about it. Just your positive vibes and blessings are really important. Then take a moment before the Advent candles, and then take an affirmation. A lot of times I have found, it's almost like the I Ching, the answer or what I've been looking for. It's just the word that I really needed. So please take that, and then we'll circle up. And now, yes, Billy.
I want to say something.
Whoa, let me get a microphone. So
I want this to go to you, because I'm blessed by your sermon. Maybe y'all will join me and give you a little Christmas present.
Ah.
I'm a pastor.
Now something and now something wonderful.
Something wonderful. Here we go. There's something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body. I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my heart. And it won't let go. No, it won't let go. All this love inside. We can let it shine. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine out. Yes we can. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine out. Yes we can. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine out. Yes we can. Something wonderful. So let's bless these gifts together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. United in mind, body, and spirit, I dedicate these gifts as they grow to bless our community, our neighborhood, and our world. So just before we close with the peace song, we're going to hear from the kids, the youth. And don't forget that the first of each month, that will be the 7th next month, is is also friends and family. So potluck. So start handing out those cards, because that's a good way to get folks here as well.
Today we had the joy of opening all the gifts that were given to the youth room, and the kids got to explore their new toys and really just enjoyed the moment.
Here we go. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with